A new push to fix the way Texas pays for public schools kicked off last week in Austin. The Commission on Public School Finance started laying the groundwork for long-term solutions for what many call a broken system. And the problems are hitting students and Texas homeowners.
You can't have property tax relief until you get a school finance fix. And we've been talking about that for years. And so my hope is that this commission will be bold enough.
The commission plans to spend the first half of this year meeting and hearing testimony from educators statewide. They'll spend the rest of the year coming up with recommendations for lawmakers. 2 educators from Central Texas will help make the big decisions. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick appointed Pflugerville ISD Superintendent Doug Killian to the commission. Austin ISD Chief Financial Officer Nicole Conley Johnson received her appointment from Speaker Joe Strauss. Our Wes Rappaport spoke to Johnson about how the commission plans to move forward.
Here now with Nicole Conley Johnson. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
I want to jump right into it. You know, there are a lot of attempts that have been made to reform public school finance in the state of Texas. What didn't work about those old systems, and what are you going to hope is a long-term fix here?
Well, I think previous attempts obviously were sort of mired in simply lack of sort of political will to some of the hard decisions to really truly make significant change in the system. I think resulting lawsuits that have previously happened, previous commissions sort of resulted in sort of tweaks around the edges, and really resulted in some changes, but not the kind of significant changes that we need, that are warranted today.
There are a lot of moving pieces to this. You've got smaller districts with less money and less students to cater to, just as important as the larger districts with more money and more students. How do you find that balance?
Well, I never said it was going to be easy, right? That's the dilemma that every, lawsuit or commission has sort of faced, but prior to this commission. We have to take into account that there isn't a one-size-fits-all, which is why I certainly don't think that we can sort of oversimplify what we can do. The complexity of our communities across the state will probably necessitate something that is probably complex in the end.
Real quick, that there is an effect here in Austin as well, and of course your role with the district, you can bring that perspective to the rest of the commission. Talk to us about how this process has affected Austin and the Central Texas region specifically.
Austin, I think, is sort of the poster child for a lot of things that need to be addressed in the current school finance system. We are the largest payer of recapture. We're going to be sending over $1 billion this year in recapture payments, over almost about $537 million in recapture. At the same time, the Austin City core is grappling with affordability. We're seeing more and more of our families who can't afford to live in the Austin City core. We've seen the burden that is placed on our family incomes. We know that the demographics of the students and the families that we serve really don't meet the definition of being wealthy. So we're sending so much in local resources to the state to attend to needs across the state. It's really difficult to face these sort of financial challenges, not only in the homes of our families, but as a district. So we are operating at a deficit. We owe more in our recapture liability than what we take in revenue, mainly because we're losing families, losing students, so it's affecting the revenue that we take in, so we have less monies to serve. We're contemplating reducing programming that we know that works for our vulnerable populations, like full-day pre-K. We're contemplating things like school closures and consolidations, all at a time when taxpayers are paying more. Students are expected to do more. They're expected to perform more, and they're demanding more services as a result. We don't have sufficient dollars and resources to appropriate those services. The CEI index, which is supposed to account for regional affordability differences, the cost of living in the different regions, because obviously living in Austin or buying something in Austin or the cost of labor in Austin is very different than somewhere in Brownsville or Birdsville or somewhere else across the state. Those indexes have not been updated for 30 years. So you see other cities across the state who look very different than they were, even 5 years ago, let alone 30 years ago, sort of realize the benefits of a CEI that's outdated.
Nicole Conley-Johnson, thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to seeing what this commission will end up putting together. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks.
Thank you.